Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to go back to our house building project that we were starting. So today I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with some of the basic things. Now I have thought about this. Some of the stuff we're going to probably cover is starting a bit of an upper floor. But before we do that, I thought about doing like a bit of a covered porch. Then we're going to start eventually with time making paths and stuff like that, and making our way to that village that we saw. So we're going to come in and we're going to go in ahead and we're just going to assess everything. Now we did do the base of our stuff, so this is where kind of like the reason why we need it. Now, to do like this roof, I was thinking more of like the deep slate tiles, because like due to the fact that it is one of the nicer ones that kind of resembles a bit of like a kind of slated kind of, I guess you could say, I don't remember what we call that, shingles, there we go. I was trying to get the name of it. So yeah, and I like it because it also too has a good accent for some of the walls and stuff like that. So anybody who's new, what's going on here, we started a world, and now what we're doing is we're going to make this like our main base, but also too just to do some like light building, give some people some hints, stuff like that. And this is actually a really beautiful area. Later on I'll add some like bees and stuff like that. Add some more trees. We are actually in the hundreds up here, so that's fine. So what we're gonna do, so like we're doing here, we're just gonna finish up. Now we're not gonna be done this in like one day or anything, in case if anybody's kind of wondering what's going on. I think we're gonna make this one more five, 6, yeah. 6, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Until we get that second floor, we're gonna leave it like at the 6 mark for height. Once that second floor started, then we can adjust accordingly for roof and stuff like that. We could easily make the roof just a slightly bit higher. That would work. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. We want to keep this as even as possible. I just want to start the roof a little bit here on this side. Now, if we were putting this on a survival situation, I would add lots of like lighting if I were you. You don't have to follow the same pattern. This is just kind of like a start thing. Like I said, we might like extend our height of our ceiling to cover like the base of this porch, which is fine. We could actually make it work for us. And we're just going to kind of finish this. Here. Now it doesn't have to be like this. This is just, like I'm saying, it's just like a starter kind of like covered like porch thing. I will probably in the while probably add things like mods for furniture and stuff like that, because I want to get one that will have like things like swings and stuff like that. I don't want to make the roof too low, as the fact that you still want room to like kind of be able to walk and stuff like that, right? And you don't want to be having it where you're going to be bumping your head on just this here. So we're just finishing it off, and one more row I think is where it goes. Yes. So now we're gonna come back. We're gonna finish this off. I suggest if you're doing this like in a survival situation, I would spend your first couple days. I'm just leaving it where the days are played because like gives us an idea of what's going on. And go figure that it's gonna rain. It's much like right now where I am. It is raining. How quaint. um, yeah. So I would spend like maybe your first 10 or so days, kind of like getting your supplies together and that. Yeah, this is not quite white enough. I don't know why I didn't do it. Okay. I think because the front was not as even as... Okay, that's fine. We will make it work. There we go. There we go. Now we could go down. So now we go... There we go. Imagine doing this like you're in real life, like you're kind of like trying to figure out like how to build your house, and you're kind of like using Minecraft blocks and stuff like that. Can you imagine how much more hard that would be? Like you're trying to race against the weather because you don't know when the weather's gonna pop and be different. That would be so funny. Like, I mean, it's a bit of a hypothetical question, but I mean, like, you would sit there and kind of like, what? And you're like running around trying to figure out things, right? Actually, I think I made it one a little too hard. Okay, maybe that's the reason why. Okay, hang on. Where is that French? There we are. To blend. Yeah, we made it 1, 2. Okay, okay. Yeah. We were right on the button. I didn't need that extra block. Alrighty. Alrighty. And now, let's go back it up here. I want to try to keep it as even, like I say, as possible. Because I know if I don't, it is going to severely bug me, and I'm not going to be enjoying, like, the setup. So, memento. I don't know, I overestimated on that one. There we go. At least this is not like as bad. I have actually done roofs, and they kind of, it's just been by chance, but you know, you kind of look at it and you go, why did I do that? And then you kind of like figure it out from there. There we go. Now we can put that in. I like my stuff when it's like nice and even, not like really, really crooked or anything like that. Now, I'm going to, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to back this up a little. Oops, I did chop that one up. There we go. Now we're going to back up one more. The reason for that is we're going to do this evenly as possible. There we go. There. Because we're going to add some more detailing as we go along, and we want to make sure like it does feel like an actual wrap, like deck and everything. I mean, not worrying about anything because we are in like creative and everything. So 1, 2, 3 to breathe. Right. Yes. There we go, and there we go. So now when you're kind of going and you're adding in your, I guess you could call them supports, whatever. It doesn't feel like so off in that. Like, I hate that when it feels like, why did I not fix that in the beginning? And I don't want to have to come back and have to, like, you know, redo a whole section of roof in the end, right? So now when I come over here, it's like, yeah, okay, well, this is even. we still got like lots of like room for like lights, whatever we need in here. There. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's good. Now, I'm gonna go here. Because normally when you have like a house and stuff like that, it would have kind of like some kind of type of wooden support to, you know, keep up the roof and stuff like that. You're not gonna have this type of roof and like turn around and it being like, falling apart, sorry, for anything. So yeah, that's not peachy. I've seen people have to really kind of like re-support everything, and then it becomes annoying and stuff like that. Or people just nowadays, what do? They just kind of like get rid of it and stuff like that. Oh, anyway, get rid of that. Like you might see some people putting like a couple more supports along the way, depending on the length of like their I guess like this, like porch stuff like that. Yeah. So we're gonna try to keep it, like I say, even. You know, you may not want to do this, like it's up to you, but I like the kind of like, I guess in some ways it feels like oriental in design. I mean, I could even go like something like that on the ends, and then, you know, it kind of does. It kind of gives like a little more like, you know, style. And I mean, yeah, if you like to. Like this one here, of course. So I may as well just go like this. There you go. Yeah. And yeah, that's it. I know that's going to feel really weird if I don't do it on this side, right? There. And then, yeah. No. Need one more. There you go. There. That would have bugged me. Sorry. That would have severely bugged me. And then we'll just do this. I'll let it go. I guess so. Because this one has two, that has two, and this side has two. So that works out for me, yeah. You may want to move on to things like now, like into some basic lighting and stuff like that. I like the lanterns and the fact that it kind of has like a little bit of like nice thing, and you could kind of like space them out, whatever. Not really space them like really perfect here, but you get the idea. There. And so, like, now, you know that, you know, mobs are not going to necessarily spawn in here. And if you're really super concerned, like, if you're going to be going into survival, some of the other things you can do, we're just going to, yeah, we're going to put that over, right. Go over here, get our dark oak, and just kind of, like, plop in a door. Now, depending on the entrances you have, you may want to put accordingly. There you go. Yes, I know. People are going to say, why didn't this one become 2 and whatever or not? I get it. I understand that. It's going to bug me for a little while so later on. Because this is 2, that's 2, so on and so forth. We probably might end up fixing it like even sooner than I really like to care for. Because due to the fact, oh yes, this is going to bug me. Let's just do it. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to have to adjust it. There we go. There. And there. Just so everybody knows, it's done. I don't have to worry about it later. It's going to bug me like, I would probably like mid-build. I'm like, I got to do it now. Oh, man. Our weather has been so irregular that, like, I've been not feeling very well. I've just been glad that I've been able to get some videos out, like, more regularly. Yeah, so there we go. 2, 2, 2, and basically 2. There. It won't bug me. Now, depending what you want to do. Okay, where'd you walk in? Ah, no. Oh. Now, when I'm talking about like with the roof is if you're going to make kind of like a feel for some of those things. Like depending if you want to just keep it this height, it would be up to you. You could probably even go like one more higher if you really want to go that far. But of course, then you're gonna adjust your perimeter around your house, so it kind of makes it like more, it doesn't look so flat. Whatever. And I think I said, oh, that's okay. I'm not one. All right. There we go. And then basically, now I could easily just come back in and adjust underneath, but we're not going to do that and not worry about it too much. If you do want to make it even for the sake of this whole thing, even again, one more even higher than that, then that would be something. But I think we're just going to leave it because then, like, it still matches like most of the rest of it. There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, that's fine. Now we're going to have to probably fill in all the gap in the middle now that we're done. There we go. 1, 2, 3, see? There we go. Just fill it quickly as we can. Pardon me. It's a little bit of an early morning for me, and so like I do apologize for my voice sounds a little like hoarse and stuff like that. I didn't have my coffee. Before anybody says I am going to get some coffee today, I did run out. I even said that during I think my last video too, when I ran out. It's unfortunate, but coffee, man, is very expensive, I tell you. So we're going to finish up the perimeter now again, and we're going to just set it up so everything. And then we're going to move to like our next step with the build, and we're going to start adding for our kind of like our second floor. By this point, depending on each of the like highway you want to make it feel. Now we do have a large section of like areas that we could. One part could easily become like a master bedroom, or say 2 separate bedrooms, or you could put one storage room. I mean, it's entirely up to you. You don't necessarily have to do the whole entire roof. But I'm thinking, since we didn't really like add like a kind of like a basement thing, maybe we could add it later on. We could also make like go the whole length of the house. And I was thinking that maybe what we could do is for now, even adding like a upstairs kind of storage. I did a build once, and it was kind of like a large build. Upstairs had 6 bedrooms. One had the master, of course. That was my room. But then I had several small rooms. Now, I did is in the 6 separate rooms, I made one a master, I call it a master closet. Now, that one only had just, regular chests that you could easily, fill with items and stuff like that. That worked for me. And then later on, I think I was starting it before like something happened, and I think, oh yes, my phone crashed, and I ended up like, by the time I reset it, most of everything was gone. It was kind of unfortunate. I did not back it up on Minecraft, which is kind of like one of the few things you should do with most of your builds. That way, in case something happens to your device, then it got backup copies. And most of that, you could just actually just go into your here, I'll just show you. If you just go into your settings, yes, you can do this in actually while you're in your gameplay here. Where did I remember seeing that? Or you could add. Maybe it is on. Oh, general, I think. Under general. I'm just trying to remember where I saw. You can actually change where your storage is. Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's on the main screen. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that like maybe before we close out. And I'll give you show you where you can actually go ahead and make sure that it backs up on Minecraft through your account. That way, like I said, if you're transferring devices, so on and so forth, sometimes transfers don't always go smoothly. Most times, like the game will, you'll have to install it, add in your account, so on and so forth. But not always will worlds kind of port in. That's where you would have to change where the storage is and stuff like that. Just a little heads up, I've had so much experience with that one. Now, we're going to start this upper floor. And so what I was thinking, instead of brick, I thought about this wood. And there's only one other reason why I'm going to do it this way, or another thing you could do, and I'm going to just put some stuff away here. There we go. Is you could easily add, where's my concrete? There we go. Now you could go with the gray, black concrete if you really, really want to. It's entirely to you how you want to make it look. I just personally like the dark color because, like, say if I'm just going to show you a little bit here. Say if we're going to do the dark, like if you're doing the two colors, we're not just going to ignore the fact that there's like brown here, okay? Now you have this around your perimeter. When you kind of look at this kind of setting, it doesn't feel right. And even if you were to try to say some black here, you can see it just doesn't. I don't know. It just may be me, but it just doesn't feel like it matches anything along here. That's why I try to stick with things like if I'm making like a city in that. Oh yeah, I would probably use these colors right here for that reason, because like it is like where you'd find them more in that situation. But we're making kind of like a retreat, not like city slicker stuff. That would be like probably in a year or so. Like we'll probably start a kind of like city or something, and like we'll build it over like a couple of years or something, and then maybe have some nice friends come on in, and maybe find a way to invite people in, do it maybe on a live thing where people could come in and join us, whatever. I mean, that'd be fun. But this is just kind of by, like I said, by comments and stuff like that. How would you like to, see this, in the end turn out, stuff like that. Now, this is some kind of like, it's just like a series. It's not going to happen all at once. I'm just mentioning that. And so we're going to eventually probably build like all the way down this mountain. We're probably going to add like retreat stuff. We're going to probably like finish this like terraforming, stuff like that. Like this is just the start of like just the house itself, just including anything else. Anyway, I don't know too much running about that. That's just go ahead. There. Now we got about the height where we're going to add our second day. Now down at the bottom, I think was like 10. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do in the future part. So one. Okay, let's just say there's 2 at the bottom, but we're going to go say here. Oops. There. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 high. Alright. And the reason why I want to leave that there is because that will be kind of like we're going to outline the house later. And I'm not going to worry about that. And it'll give us like a nice like kind of feel to the house. So we're going to make sure we keep that up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to leave it like that. Because I don't want to make the house kind of lobby kind of thing. You just want to make it feel, as even as possible. I know, like, people are going to say, why is it 7 high, not 8 high, or 10 high, or whatever. Make it as high as you would like it. Entirely up to you. Yeah, I've done a floor, and it was like 12 high, I think it was. But then again, I added, like, some fancy chandeliers. I did that on, I think, Realm for Little Land SMP. It was one of the builds. It was a big mass build anyway. So, yeah. And it was like a mansion. So, like, yeah, that took me about 2 weeks. Like, maybe 2 weeks? Yeah. Because, like, I started the base. And then that wasn't even digging it out. Because I had to build the base. And then I made, like, a carport. And then I built it onto, like, a side of a kind of like a mountain thing. And it was kind of like a lot of cleaning up. I'll leave it like that. Yeah. We're gonna get this finished in here. And then, when it comes for roofs, you might want to reconsider, like, so now that this is just a basic framing. Oops, I made it so wide. Let's go on the other side. All right. There we go. This is just to kind of get an idea, because I was thinking, no, not going to happen in this video, as I know it is getting late in this build video here. Before I would do most of the base of these walls and stuff like that, that's including adding floors, stuff like that. I might start by the next video adding, like, roof and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to something like that, I might make it like a slant roof. Now, that is something else, because it will change the shape. And if you're building, like, say you did the walls, and say you did all the windows and everything, and then also you're starting to do the roof, but then you don't want to make it look too high, it might ruin everything. So that's where you would kind of, like, I'm gonna have to, hang on here, let's do this quickly. Here, where's that DC tile? No, that's crap DC. DC ties. Alright. Now, one of the few things I've seen people do, help if I do this, right? And I don't know if you would want to do, like, the dark oak, but everything else. I could probably just change that anyways. And just do, like, a double on each side and sort of like that. So, like, 1, 2, then 1, 2. I mean, you could do that, and it would keep, like, the the roof kind of still slant, but not, like, be too steep, so to speak. You could even go so much as, like, 3 and 3. That would probably work, but I would stick with the 2 and stuff like that, as the fact that it just kind of works a little bit better. Like, when you kind of make roofs, one of the few things I learned very quickly is, depending on how you're going to make the rest of your build, it will make a big imprint on its style and stuff like that. So be careful with some roof builds, just by personal experience and stuff like that. I just hated the way some of them turned out. And then I spent, like, usually sometimes for me personally, like, I'll spend probably a couple hours and try to, like, really fix. There we go. That works. And it's not too sleepy. And one other thing is add like one more like out, just like something like this if you're going to do that roof type style. Like, it's not that it does too much, but like when you're kind of looking at it from like a front view, it's more appealing. And that's why when you're looking at some houses and stuff like that, like even in real life, like some roofs do stick out, and they do have, especially some of the older kind of style houses and stuff like that. It's just because you're covering windows and stuff like that. It's just a way to protect. I like this. This is actually nice. I'll keep it. And like over here, just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to do quickly here. Like I would stick, and we're going to eventually, I don't know if I could do it in this video or not. Just kind of, I'm making sure it's 2 because I don't want to, there we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, okay. 2. Hoping we have enough, room to, no, that one's going to be a pretty weird one. Then we're just going to drop it like that then. But then it feels really weird. Oh, man. That's one of the few things with sometimes when you're doing that style, you're going to have that issue. Work with it. Do the best you can. That's all I can suggest. I don't know how we're going to work with some of these things for future reference. We might come back and, like I say, rebuild this corner. I don't know how we're going to do. Yeah. I might like see, because like we're gonna make like this sideways kind of based kind of design. Like I'm just trying to quickly show you here just with the time I got left. Yes, I'm rushing again. I do apologize. Like, because the height of that roof will not match the height this roof. That's where problems are going to start to happen. It may be something that you may want to take into account for when you're doing this. Now, what we could do is when it comes to the base, like over here and stuff like that, maybe stop like the peak of this roof so far, and then that way it does not interfere with the rest of the build that you got going, so that it kind of doesn't like, I guess you would say, feel too off and stuff like that. Like I say, I wouldn't use, you could make a flat roof. I'm just going to leave it like that. I can't even say what I wanted to say about that one. So we're going to leave it. I'm going to do the rest of this roof, probably today at some point. That way we can move on and do the rest. I know the roof might feel off center, maybe a little bit off like beat and stuff like that, but we'll have to live with that for now. And yeah, we're going to leave it like that. Now, and what from what you might say is, why don't you just continue like the it going like this, right? Like this way. Oops. I'm following the roof better. Okay, there we are. Like something like this across this way. I can understand. Like, yes, I totally get it. I mean, you could. That way it does not interfere with kind of like how the rest of your roof is going to feel. Work with the pattern. That's all I could suggest on that one. Anyway, we're going to let it go for today, and I know that there's some things that might need addressing. We don't know yet. We'll work with it as we go along. Anyways, this has been obviously, well, day 2 of our build base. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have yourselves a great day. Cheers!